remember which maps were banned. So
yeah,
Dragon wasn't banned, but SPT
Ooh.
taking us to Tomb anyway.
Looks like winning on Dragon Shard at this point is just too boring, or has gotten too boring for SPT. They want to practice other battlegrounds as well, and so they should actually, because Mid-Season Brawl is not really too far away anymore. Only a couple weeks until we're going all the way to Sweden, and until we're enjoying one of the, what could be the most prestigious, one of the most fun tournaments all year, with the exception of BlizzCon. So here we go. Tomb of Sparta Queen, a little bit of diversity coming on, and I like it.
Yeah, despite being both being Chinese casters, we both, in fact, well, we're not, for us, we're not Chinese, we cast the Chinese region. Should have specified that because that could be misconstrued. For starters, last mid-season Brawl was a great performance for a Chinese team on an international stage in the form of E-Star. For second, me and Kendrick are both from EU, and mid-season Brawl was won by an EU team, so therefore it holds a soft spot in the place of both of our hearts.
Catcher.
Why did I say in the place? There is just a soft spot where our hearts used to be, when it just says mid-season Brawl in plush letters.
You know what the best thing about this upcoming mid-season Brawl is going to be? The fact that we're going to have 4 EU teams. Yay! It's going to be amazing.
We're not biased at all, as we see Junkrat and Mid-Season banned out here.
All right. Although if you think about it, and yeah, Garrett, by the way, first pick, no big surprise here. By now, I think every person out there, even if you're living under a rock, you will have noticed that Garage is probably going to lift that rock easily and toss you into the enemy team, even if you're trying to hide from him. But yeah, Tetcher, 4 teams from Europe, right, going to the mid-season Brawl. That's all fine. That's all, you know, nice and dandy. However, we also thought that the Western class would be dominated by those 4 European teams, right? But nothing really happened there too much. Zealots turned it up, but Method, they looked a little shaky, didn't they?
Method did look a little shaky. First team to lose to an American team in a very long time from Europe. So that was quite surprising. But there's a good chance we might see them have another shot due to the fact we get 4 European teams. However, the issue with that is there's also going to be 4 Korean teams, which means we might get to see G-Luck at an international stage, and that makes me hyped because they're crazy.
Absolutely, absolutely. Are you sure you pronounce them G-Luck, or is it Gluck?
I think it might be Gluck. You are correct. You might be correct there. I'll have to.
I like G-Luck though. I think G-Luck actually sounds way cooler, because Gluck to me sounds like an abomination of a word of the German Glück, which means luck, right? So now we have luck, Glück, and Gluck is like the weird, the weird hybrid of the 2 words.
Yeah, I just thought it was the sound that a chicken with a speech impediment made.
Yeah, there's a German word actually. There's a German word for that. A very old-fashioned term, a very slang term for a chicken is Glucke. Du alte Glucke, du.
I have learned. So, we are seeing here a Tassadar. We've completely skipped the fact that Tassadar was picked by SPT with this Hanzo just straight away. Do they expect it to be banned? I don't know why they picked this so early. As they ban away a Zeratul, Malfurion and Gul'dan as the counter here. Just drop lots of consistent damage to make that shield get much less value.
Yeah, Zeratul is not welcome here in this series. We can definitely say that. Both teams banned him once, respectively. Now, Tassadar already locked in. The double supporting is real. And with Malfurion being picked by Beyond the Game and Stukov being taken out, ZZH is back on the Rhaegar.
The SPT, this draft means that they're either going for a solo tank Johanna or a solo assassin Hanzo. The second one is preferable to me, especially if they could pick like a really solid bruiser. But Tracer doesn't really fit well in terms of bruisers on this map. I think they'd have to go for something like a Ragnaros or a Mount Lyell.
Yeah, ooh, Ragnaros. I like the call. I like the sound of that. I think on Tomb of Sparta Queen is probably one of the few maps where he's still really highly viable. So yeah, are they going to do that? More ability damage, of course, to burn through the shields, to really threaten the Hanzo as well. A nice sulfurous smash. I know there's a lot of hype going on in Lava Wave, especially since the teachings of Trixler. And no, they're not going for any of it. They are going for Leoric. First Leoric of the day. And yeah, first Rhaegar of the day as well. Man, we're seeing a lot of new heroes today.
Here we are with the Stukov band away. ZZH drops back to his old favourite. He was absolutely dominant on Rhaegar last season. But this time it's due to the meta changes. His support options have been slightly changed. But now he's back on an old faithful, we shall call it.
He's back at it again for sure. Now, one more frontliner potentially if they want to go solo Hanzo, which I think they will. Blaze could actually come to mind here. SPT still relying heavily on that hero. It offers great wave clear as well. Strong rotations. That will certainly mean, though, that Melody C would be back on the Tassadar, unless Soap and Melody C would swap roles there once again. Or are they going for a solo tank Johanna? Traditionally speaking, solo tank Johannes wasn't really that successful, but it could work out after all. Ooh, and they do exactly that.
So yeah, solo tank Johanna, but with something to make it potentially work. Their rotational ability is now really good, and their damage output's really good, and they don't exactly need to engage when their poke potential is superior to their opponents.
Now, what was the support? It was Malfurion. Malfurion doesn't have a cleanse. Malfurion doesn't make people unstoppable. That means we could see a temporal loop if SPT wants to turn things up here in the early stages of the game. However, I'm not really sure if we would have a lot of burst damage follow-up with the exception of Hanzo, so maybe it's going to be a slowing stance after all to dominate the choke points, to keep Garrosh at bay. I think slowing Garrosh tremendously really helps your backline to stay in safety, so I'm leaning a little bit more towards the slowing stance here, actually.
I'm sticky. I like the slowing stance because it can be comboed with, say, a force wall, but I am leaning towards the temporal loop here. I think Hanzo and the little bit of Rhaegar Feral Lunge as well could be good. Even Johanna can get a bit of burst, especially with Punish. There are certain builds that can do that, or even just an extra bit of crit damage with Sin's Exposed. Is that still a talent? It's been a really long time since I played Johanna.
Yes, Sin's Exposed comes at 4,
yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, a little bit of extra damage. I think they could probably blow up the 2 heroes who can't unstoppable themselves. Sorry, 3 heroes.
I think so too. So a very curious draft coming in from SPT, featuring the Chromie for the first time today. I like it. SPT, Molly on that Hanzo. We have Melody C on the Chromie after all. I love that too. Misaka plays the Johanna, Soap on the Tassadar duty, and ZZH back on Rhaegar.
And on the right-hand side, it is going to be Beyond the Game, with 619 on Garrosh, LLK on Gul'dan, Druid on Malfurion, Dancing on Greymane, and Lai is playing on the Leoric.
Okay, so a lot of damage available on the other hand, of course, for the team known as Beyond the Game on the right-hand side. So how many defensive capabilities do we have? Actually, a lot for SPT, if you look at it. Iron Skin available. That alone makes Johanna a very unfavorable target to actually engage on. There we go. We just saw it. Even the best of Garrosh comps is not going to be enough to take her down. Then we have Tassadar Shields, potentially with bonus armor after taking the talent level 4. Then we have an Ice Block later on for Chromie. So I think SPT is well equipped to all the gate Greymane and Leoric Aggression later on in the game.
For now, though, SPT dodging, BTG dodging those Chromie shots like masters. And is that a Chromie solo later?
I mean, sure, why not? Normally, Chromies should be part of the rotation to stack up the Sandblast quest, right? That would be the ideal scenario. However, if you have a Hanzo in the mix and you really want to make sure that no one falls victim to early Garrosh combos by providing more and better protection, then having Tess on the rotation is actually something worth striving for.
Yeah, Shades of Zuyu coming in from LEC, and it is. He's just going to try and poke in Lai, but so far Lai is doing the very standard thing of playing against Chromie of, you know, dodge. I'm going to repeat that for the people listening who are going to play Hero League soon. Dodge. D-O-D-G-E, as LLK takes a lot of damage.
All right, here we go. The wave clear, of course, that Tassadar provides is also a little more reliable and less mana consuming than the Dragon's Breath coming in from Chromie. So that is a little bit more reliable to keep the lanes in check as well. But once again, as you said, Tetcher, the Greymane going for the bottom mercenary camp, immediately causing so much distraction, causing a lot of commotion, and that could result in them being able to take the first couple of gems into the turning in points here. Lai actually zoning away the Chromie. Melody C, unfortunately, Sandblast do not work against her, but of course the Dragons, the Bronze Talons, excuse me, they want to be triggered for extra damage to deal with those Siege Giants.
Yeah, which we are seeing here. The Bronze Talons coming in, not going for any of that sneaky time trap play we actually have been seeing in some of the regions recently, which is kind of fun though.
All right, mercenary camps in the middle, getting taken down, and you can really just see it that Beyond the Game is on top of the game at the moment, right? They not only dominate the lanes in the bottom, but they also time those mercenary camps extremely well. Defending under their own towers, so they will strike back, and now going for the retaliation strike, potentially getting more value, but instead they're trying to go for something in the bottom. Gul'dan paying all those gems, 12 total. Even I think 619 could have used that distraction in the middle to pay his own gems, 15 at that.
He was looking for his opportunity to do so, and is actually going to try and turn in now. But you can see Chromie is just pinging in shots. LLK, drain. The life drain keeps him alive, and he's able to get out with very little health.
Oh, that was as close as it could possibly get for Gul'dan here. Nice decision to wait until all the other abilities were used by Tassadar and Rhaegar. So he dodged the Side Storm, he dodged the Lightning Shield, and then use the Life Drain. Otherwise, he would have taken additional damage while standing still. So really good decision making in such a well-deserved survival.
Both teams still looking for those turn-in opportunities. EZH gets his 4 gems in. Slowly getting his team closer there. They're actually only, hang on, quick math, 13 away now as they approach that turn-in magic number. Whereas a full 20 currently for the side of BTG, who are getting consistently zoned away.
Yeah, they could. Both teams actually could go for the first turn-in, and the first turn-in from the Spider Queen is oftentimes the important one, right? Because it could allow you to snowball ahead. Oh, from off-screen, Melody C with a long sandblast there.
Roby from downtown, exactly the right amount of gems being held by Lai. In the meantime, while this is happening, even more gems were turned in for SPT. They only need 2 now, and this is going to be it with ZZH getting the turn-in.
Yeah, and this is really the beautiful synergy between Chromie and Hanzo, right? Hanzo lays down the vision, and Chromie is going to poke people from afar. That's exactly how you need to do it. And with beautiful coordination from their 2 assassin players, SPT was able to catch that turn-in the top lane with so much distraction going on in the bottom half of the map. So well played. Beyond the Game, let's see how well they can defend it.
BDG moving into that defense position, except for 619, who is just front-lining, as he should be. Getting some defense in by zoning out the enemies. But here comes the Web Weavers, all of them pretty pushed up. This one will probably finish off this tower. There's a question of how we'll top and bottom.
So we see the classic sharpened arrowhead builds, by the way, coming in from Hanzo. Redemption number 1 attack speed, which will then benefit from sharpened arrowheads to lower the armor of Garrosh, for example, or even from Leoric or Greymane. Greymane, of course, coming with 10 innate armor while in Worgen form. Many people always seem to forget that Greymane can be quite tanky because of that. Hashtag 10 armor, by the way. And the explosive shot at level 4, just providing massive, massive wave clear.
You can see Melody C running at LLK there, trying to 1, zone him out, and 2, set up a temporal loop if LLK stayed still too long. 619 gives Chromie some stacks unintentionally by taking all the damage.
Yeah,
as SPT begin their rotations.
Okay, so interesting Johanna build, by the way, coming in from Misaka here. The Sins Exposed at level 4 is quite a nice damage amplifier if you want to bring someone down a little quicker, but at level 7 we don't really see that sound to drop. And hold that thought though. Oh, beautiful save, 619 with a biggie.
So they don't have cleanse, but they do have into the fray. Imagine, me neither. I would like you to imagine showing up at your doctor saying, I have a cold, and he goes, oh, I have a fix for that, and throws you out the window and it works. This is what is happening right now.
Just before the infection hits you, right? Just before the virus gets into your system, Doctor throws you out the window and you dodge it.
Thanks, Doc. Blessed Shield coming in. Sandblast, Dragon Breath doing all the damage. But once again, BTG, a little bit too tanky at this stage as all that damage went onto the tanks.
Alright. Okay, so you always find something new to be flabbergasted about in Heroes of the Storm, and that's why we all love the game. There's always something new to find out, and we today found out that Garrosh apparently offers a short period of unstoppable while flinging over an ally to safety, so that's cool. We learn.
So you can unstoppable yourself with Indomitable, and then unstoppable your allies with Into the Fray. Very cool to see here, and the turn-in now being attempted by SPT. They don't have enough. Yeah, they're short just a couple, but they only need one more now to be able to get the full turn in. And Hanzo is in position to clean up the lane, but Dancing is in position to try and deny the gems, but Misaka already picked them up.
Okay, here's the Entomb. Leoric going for the lockdown instead of the self-sustain and damage that would have come from March of the Black King here. Now, can they use the heroic abilities to finally force a turn in themselves? Already 619 posturing up here in the bottom half. Gets poked over and over, though, by Hanzo and Chromie. It must feel very annoying if you're a Garrosh here, because those heroes are normally so far away from you that you can't even reach them, even if you tried so hard.
So we see the poking, attempting to come in, but LFK needs to be so careful. There's just always that chance of the Chromie Temporal Loop Light getting in so many.
Nice.
29, that's going to be the first turn in for the BTG. Can they get as much damage as SPT in and try and close that XP deficit?
And already the Dragon's arrows sailing by here, so no targets hit. Lai's doing exactly what he needs to do there. Not only was he able to turn in quite a lot of gems, but also he is de-pushing the bottom lane, which was currently pressured by Siege Giants, so Webweavers will have an easier time pushing there as well. Now, speaking of pushing and protecting the Webweavers, how much is Beyond the Game willing to invest into saving the middle lane? Look at all that long-distance poke. Chromie and Hanzo doing God's work to keep those spiders at bay. Not even a tower was destroyed in the middle.
Yeah, tower survives. Soap dodging out the way of that purple wave. But BTG moving in to get a tower in this top lane. This one should go down. Okay, once again gets thrown out. And this is kind of what Chromie wants. She could have maybe reacted to that, because once Into the Fray has been used, that's something you could try and pick up.
Now, as you can see, the bottom wave Weaver is actually still in pretty good shape. 30% health here. And Leoric wasn't even with the team the entire time. He was using the distraction that his teammates posed and was soaking all the time, helping the Webweaver to push, getting 2 more towers there in the bottom lane, and slowly but surely Beyond the Game is catching up and even overtaking SPT very slightly in global experience. Now Johanna, easy peasy, good try. Iron Skin saves her for now, but takes a huge corruption wave, and that was actually the Echoed Corruption completed, so worth it after all.
Lens had to be used as well, so that's even another cooldown being burned. So her own Iron Skin did not last the entire time to get her over the mouth route. So the turn in, though, once again picked up by SPT, and with them all being alive, they can actually push this. So those cooldowns pretty much worth, but like you said, it does finish the Echo Corruption, which is the problem. Where's Garrosh? Where's Garrosh? Where's Garrosh? Not here! And Garrosh, we're seeing the movement onto cooldown, but he tanks through it.
Yeah, he tanks through it because he used Horrify on the follow-up damage. So a very well-timed move here. Although Garrosh wasn't able to save him this time, he saved himself like a strong independent orc would do. Oh, the beautiful scatter shot by Hanzo, eliminating Lai there in the last second. A huge corruption goes through, but the Webweavers are already marching towards BTG's base.
Mid lane is the focus here. Johanna is just cleaning up and grouping up the minions in top lane so that they will push up. Hanzo, being careful, gets even a lightning shield. So shields on shields coming in here for SPT, keeping that Hanzo nice and healthy.
How much value will they be able to get through this? Chromie, I don't even know how many stacks Chromie has assembled at this point. We still don't see the sand clones, so she's not maxed out, but she must be getting very close. Melody C's accuracy has been absolutely on point, especially those hammering dragon breaths over and over again, causing Garrosh to drop quite significantly. Oh my goodness, look at that.
Yeah, we're probably going to see the spell, not landing it this time. We're going to see the spell damage increase at level 16. There it is, or in this case level 14, because Chromie, 619, finally able to pull back and get some regen.
Alright, so the keeps were protected. That is already the most important thing. Look at the gems, by the way, Tetcher. 109 on the bank account of Beyond the Game. So they're going to have to try desperately to finally find a grip and maybe destroy a couple of team members of the enemy team and then turn in, or cause a little bit of distraction with the mercenary camp that they're trying to do right now. Chromie sitting at 50. Tassadar is fully stacked on 1,000 already, so he's going to have more damage on the Side Storms and a bigger radius, most importantly.
And we currently see SPT not even that far away from their own turn, and the problem is they've pushed the lanes up. So they're going to be a long time away before their lanes will return to them so they can get the gems, or they're going to have to kill the enemies and take gems off their corpses, which might be the intended goal here, or at least, at minimum, to deny the enemy turning in any of their now 129 30 gems.
Okay, here goes the mercenary camp. That could be the puffer. That could be the distraction they need. 17 gems already by Leoric. That's a nice first step, but 56 on Garrett. He alone could provide enough resources to actually get yet another set of wet levers. Keep in mind, Chromie actually scouting the perimeter with Time Walker's Pursuit. They have so much vision, by the way. Time Walker's Pursuit, the Hanzo Sonic era. How are you ever going to get a turn unnoticed?
So they're going to just try and kill Chromie. There's the timeout. Now LOK is very forward. Needs to be careful. Chromie waiting out the route. Dodges Garrosh as well. It's Johanna who is thrown. The Horrify pretty decent on who are the backliners there. As Lai, though, is taking so much damage from Soap, who's just proxied himself. As a great distraction as Ancestral lands, keeping him alive as well. Wow. Now they're pushing forward, looking to see if they can pick someone up. But dancing a little bit too far away, and as Chromie drops the temporal loop, but with LOK there, be a little too risky.
None of the teams had to take any casualties into account here. That was a brutal fight, but look at Garrett. He's already posturing up, but Melody C is too good. His map awareness is tremendous. However, it must have flipped through. The turn-in still good for Garrett, and now with the Web Fears, they need to make sure that they get a kill, and they do so. No Tassadar, dropping a couple of gems there as well. This is Beyond the Game in full pursuit, in full momentum swing.
Lovely taunt from that Garrett to prevent the temporal loop. That just completely guaranteed the death of Tassadar there.
So huge. And now what can they do? Horrify and all the other heavy hitter heroic abilities are most likely on cooldown. Still, Grayman actually completing the cocktail build. We didn't even see that to go down, but more wave clear, of course, can oftentimes be key on Tomb of the Spider Queen. And Beyond the Game, they're posturing up here. They're trying to finally get some value. The roots are good, and Hanzo is no more.
Greymane doing Greymane things, picking up kills when he finds someone low and isolated. As Misaka takes the long way round back to base, he has to. Chromie finishes the Sandblast talent and is moving in for the Gul'dan, but into the fray once again, grants the unstoppable.
Yeah, LOK now needs a little bit of mana. That, of course, means he's going to hurt himself even more, and he's already low in health. So despite getting a couple of kills here on Hanzo and Tassadar, most respectively, look at Chromie buying so much time, so much damage as well. Even the Mighty Armor passive of Garrosh is not enough to save him completely here. But I think that there are so many gems, once again, in the bank for Beyond the Game. They don't even need to get a keep with this, right? All they can do right now is just pay again after a 10-second time window.
And this looks like it will be the plan. They're just going to try and chain these together. They have another 100 here.
Wow.
They're going for that second turn here.
The richest boys on the block here Beyond the Game. They could even go for another one. They're already trying to do so. The turning points are open, but also SPT does have enough, but they realize Misaka one shield flare. There we go. Nice interrupt. Tassadar is already trying to pay maybe in the top. Nope, they're fighting for this.
LDC gets entombed, has to drop the timeout to stop himself getting in trouble, but a beautiful Dragon's Eye onto so many members. Once again, though, Tassadar is in trouble. Good job by Molly, keeping himself alive, but that's allows him to turn around and blow up Lai. The storms on LOK are huge. The root from Tassadar is all that saves LOK here. And 619 turning onto Rhaegar, who also survives the horror damage. Coming in is so good, but Dancing gets taken out. And in the meantime, Johanna is one-woman army pushing through onto the backline and going to be able to pick up the kill on cooldown eventually, as finally 619 is dropped. And Johanna has to give up. She might actually die to the poison. No, clutch double shield from her allies.
Double shield, the Earth shield on the Rhaegar and the Plasma shield from Tassadar, but look at that fight. Everyone is so clumped up. Beautiful targets for the Storms, for the Dragon's Arrows. And actually, in my opinion, Soap was the MVP here. Look at him escape first, and now here comes the double Storms, hitting so many members after successfully stacking those up. They hurt quite a bit here. The Archon getting so much value there as well. And almost with a 3-4-man Horrify and Greymane jumping after them. If he had gotten a reset there and go for the throat, he could have actually taken down 2 members. Yeah. And as it is, SPT, they robbed the great bank of Beyond the Game, and they're now the ones paying after all, not their opponents.
Yeah, the only thing that went wrong with that Horrify was Johanna was put right next to an almost completely dead Druid Malfurion and LOK on that Gul'dan, just putting so much pressure onto them and effectively taking them out of the fight. And as such, SPT, like you said, with the turn-in, now pushing in all 5 members alive again for both teams.
I don't even want to know how many gems they just lost in that team fight. Only Gul'dan is still carrying 40, so I think they had, what was that, like over 100 in the bank? So they dropped down 60 gems.
Yeah, they had 106, so they lost 66 unless they picked them up
my
during
goodness.
that fight at some point from the corpses of the members of SPT. They tried. Actually, no, they didn't even kill anyone at SPT. So they begin moving down to the bot lane. BTG looking to defend the Webweaver. They have Greymane up in top lane, so it's just a 4-man defense here.
4-man defense. Can they do it beyond the game with their backs against the wall? Lyric trying to use the Ominous Wraith here to lower the damage of Chromie. Burst damage after the Temporal Loop, and here goes Tranquility. Here goes everything. Beyond the game is willing to fight.
Horrify not getting much value this time. Chromie focused down, and this time they get her. The timeout too early as they're able to turn around. Molly also tries to find a sneaky escape route via jumping over a wall, but goes down. 2 deaths picked up. BTG
This must be
managing to save all of their keeps, get some kills, and like you said, the boss is now open.
Yeah. The Greymane came in like a wrecking ball. Dancing was basically doing so much work for his team there. Not only was he able to get a double kill, but he also kept top and middle clean of the Webweaver. So kudos to Beyond the Game, fighting 4 versus 5 for the most part, only to turn it up when Dancing joined the party. But basically what sealed the deal was once again a great Horrify by LLK on that Gul'dan. He's absolutely turning it up, and now with Greymane and Gul'dan, they have more than enough damage to take that boss. They don't have enough. Oh yes, they do. They do have enough for a turn-in. So this is going to be a big move, a big push for Beyond the Game. Misaka is trying to delay the inevitable though.
He's trying to buy time while Rhaegar grabs Siege Giants in the bot lane and Tassadar pushes bot lane up. They're trying to gain any advantage they can, but the turn-in has now happened. SPT looking for the full defensive here. They bring back everyone. Tassadar pops back. Hanzo has revived. They have everyone they need here for this defense. This boss will be cleared up before it gets too much done.
Yeah, this boss will eventually get cleared up. The Tassadar shields, of course, help tremendously to keep the structures safe and sound. The keep is definitely going to survive this. Leoric trying to help the bottom Webweavers to deal with the Siege Giants, so they're definitely going to have to wait until his arrival there as well. He went for Burning Despair at level 20, by the way, so strong AoE damage, strong blue flames around him. If he lands Drain Hope on the enemy team's heroes, that damage is going to be amplified even more. So he, at this point, has become a late-game powerhouse.
Yes, he has. He can do crazy damage in clumped-up team fights, and that's what Garrosh wants to do as well with those taunts. He's gone for the Titanic Might, though, group up even more heroes. Moving forward, Ominous Wraith, trying to catch someone a little bit out of position here. Misaka, though, once again, clears up another Webweaver. The keep survives once again. 2 keeps managing to survive, both getting assaulted by Webweavers, and 1 by a boss.
2 keeps down, 2 keeps heavily damaged middle and top lane. They're almost down, and yet SPT proves to be that impenetrable fortress here. So much persistence, so much damage they were able to deflect up to this point. Can Beyond the Game close it out? That is going to be super hard for them to hold after all, but at least the gem count is now lowered for Beyond the Game. They don't have to worry about them turning in yet again. Whereas on the other hand, SPT is currently sitting at 56 gems. Can they do it themselves? All they need is a couple more 20 against 20. This game could not have been any closer. Let's check out some of these 20 talents here, by the way. We see the improved Tranquility on the side of Malfurion, which nets in stronger healing and a lower cooldown. We see the improved Horrify. Armor reduction against heroes like Johanna or Tassadar could be huge.
Dimensional Shift having to be used there. Yeah, the Twilight Archon being able to get that consistent Archon, which is just about to expire. Need to get his auto attacks off. It got denied. So turns back into normal Protoss form, and the rewind, the temporal loop does not kill LLK.
Yeah, that was huge. LLK needs to stay alive. He's the strongest source of wave clear to really keep these lanes in the half of SPT here. Down goes Dancing. He goes in, trying to take down the keep, and they succeed in doing so.
Keep finally down. Here's the Horrify looking turn around to try, as SPT were looking for the turnaround. So nice disengage here. Burns a cooldown, but if that's what you need to get your keep and get out, Haunt is a pretty okay ability to burn.
Yeah, Tranquility and the Horrify, those are definitely abilities worth investing if you can get permanent damage done in the middle lane. And also, that's just the catapults, by the way, guys. If you make sure to destroy a keep early on, that could be the opening window. That could be the one way to end the game much more quickly later on. Look at Lai, by the way, catching Misaka. Doesn't have the Iron Skin anymore. Doesn't have indestructible, or does he?
He does.
Okay.
It pops up. Just Misaka staying alive. Ancestral lands as well in full retreat here. Twilight Archon is about to come back off cooldown. They could try and turn this. Lie barely survives thanks to the Into the Fray, and 619 once again.
Wow.
Doing the opposite. I'd like to say he's carrying his team, but he's throwing them.
Yeah, he's throwing. He might not throw the game, but he's definitely throwing his allies, and that's exactly what they need. ZZH gets the 16 through, 18 out of 65. Here goes another Tranquility. The 20 lowers the cooldown significantly. 619 needs to be careful though. He's dangerously low on health. Melody C's hitting like a truck at this point.
Bullseye is also available. You need to be careful or Molly will catch you and Molly will kill you. Chromie raiding in pain onto the members of BTG, while SPT just look desperately for a kill or a turn in the attempt. You can see the throw there used by 619, giving disengaging from Misaka. As both teams siege up, Greymane sneakily took away the Siege Giant camp while this was all happening.
Siege Giant camp could actually make all the difference right now. If we continuously see these skirmishes near the turn-in points, it is all too easy to forget about the threat that is lingering and creeping towards your bottom keep. 54 out of 65. This is getting so close. The Warlord's challenge actually whiffed here, but here comes a big two-man Entomb.
The Twilight Archon, though, is active, and the Entomb does not get any kills with no buried alive. But
This
there's
could be
the
it.
Horde.
This could be it.
Immediate double blow-up coming in. ZZH is the target. He gets a Leoric on his
This is
head.
it.
He's down 2. Only the damage dealer's left,
No
but
way.
never mind. Hanzo is gone. Only Melody C. There's nothing he can do to defend this. He's completely outnumbered. He's completely outgunned.
Wow.
And BTG move in for the core.
Beyond the game, they have done it. They have tied the series 1-1 against the 3-time China champions. Melody C is trying all he can to bring dancing and lie down, but they're too tanky and they're hitting too hard on the core. Well played, and in spectacular fashion, they deal with a double poke, and they have one golden Horrify after the other. A well-deserved victory for Beyond the Game, really being beyond their opponents up to this point.